All right, everyone. Welcome to week 7. Um, we did a lot of retro in our weekly WIP already. So I would like to record this video to provide you some training and sharing on content, AIO, and SEO. So at this point, you have already done a lot of the heavy lifting, like you creating the content plan for the next 6 months. You have trialed the process of interviewing each other, and you have started turning insights to actual business, as in creating content for yourself. Now, we're going to sharpen how that content performs, because writing content is one thing, but getting it to be seen by another person, trusted by the audience, and converted is another level of the process. So last week, we have defining your tone and writing checklists, creating interview questions, extracting insights from each other, and turning in that interview insight into one piece of content for yourself. So if you have done it properly, you have already have raw content, your thinking, your tone of voice, but there's a gap. Most people stop here. They write something and post it, but they don't actually think about how it's get discovered, who actually see it, who is actually for, or whether it's answer the right question. So that's why I have today trainings to show you how we can fix it at a certain level. So, with this week objective, is all about connecting three things: SEO, AIO, and content, and understand that they are not separate, they're actually one system. If your content is good but not structured, it won't be found. If it's structured but it's not useful for the audience, and it doesn't have a compelling call to action, it won't convert. Or it's less likely to convert. If it's useful but it's not trusted, then it won't rank by Google or search engines. So today is about making your content work, not just posting random stuff. First, let's simplify SEO. SEO is not about any tricks, it's the process of helping search engines, for example, Google, for example, Bing, or even social media. Those are search engines. And SEO is a process of helping those search engines to understand your website, um, trust your website, and then match your website or your website pages and content to the right search intent. And search intent is the search keywords that people actually put in or type in into those search engines to look for answers. So, for example, you want to know what is the best coffee in Melbourne, then you type in into your search engine best coffee shops or best coffee brand in Melbourne. Those are search intent. Yeah. If any of those fails, the content will underperform, and regardless how well the content is, your content or your website will not be ranked highly in those search engines. Okay, how about AIO? AIO is pretty similar to how SEO works. The only difference is that it's the process of helping AI, instead of Google or Bing, is ChatGPT, is Perplexity, to understand your website, to trust your website, and to match your website to the right search intent. The difference between SEO and AIO is that when you search on AI, it's actually more conversational. People actually typing a lot of questions into that to look for specific answers. And again, if any of these fails, if AI doesn't understand what is your website is, what is your content is about, if they don't trust your website or your content, it will not match your content or your website to the right search intent. And obviously, it's when the content underperforms regardless of how well it's written. Yeah. Okay, now let's break SEO down. There will be three main pillars of SEO. Technical is about the technical structure and build of the website. So, for example, it's about the sitemap of the website, how your website is structured, what are the main pages your of your website, The second pillar is content. It's about providing unique, useful, authoritative content to your users. And finally, is authority. It's about link building, getting other sites to recognize your authority, local search. So, for example, your website is CampusLife. So you help match interns with the business owners who need marketing help or assistance. And if your website is linked and recommended by other university like RMIT, like the University of Melbourne, then it will have better authority, if that makes sense. Today, for our like as marketers and as content creators, it's really important to know specifically about content, how content can help you to rank better on website, how it will help you to get discovered by people. So that is our focus today. Not much about the technical side, not much about the authority side, but content. So when speaking about content, there will be three main things that can help your content discovered, trusted, and converted. First is the relevance. What is your content about? And these pillars will be determined by the keywords that you use for your content, the headings that you use, and the topic depth. The pages that focus on one core topic consistently outperform pages trying to rank for many. So if your page is only about, um, you know, 3 steps, for example, 3 steps to get the marketing internship in Australia or in Melbourne, it's specific in location, it have only one core topic, it will likely to perform better than other um, generic or general page that talk about like too many things at once. The second thing is the quality. So you need to examine to see if the content and the page is useful, and that will be measured indirectly through the engagement. If people spend time on the page, um, it means that the content is relevant to them and useful. That's why they stay longer to read the content. And that means that if you have clear, well-structured content, it reduces the bounce rate and improve rankings. Bounce rate means the the higher bounce rate. It means that people actually exit the page um, quickly after they look at your content. It means that they don't spend time on your page as much. So obviously, we want to reduce that bounce rate. We want people to stay on the page and engage with it. Next is authority. Can this page be trusted? And it will be built through consistent expertise that your website performs. Internal linking. So, for example, your page is if they read a specific page on your website, and there will be some internal link to other pages as well, so that they can you know learn more about that specific information that would build authority. Or it could be built through external validation as well, which means that the external links. So if your website is about like how you can get a marketing internship in Australia, and then you have external links to other website, you have external links to other um, um, like blog that someone else who actually landed another successful marketing job, it will give that external validation to your blog because you link in others as well. um, and it's likely that the sites with topical consistent will rank faster than those publishing random content. It's pretty obvious, but a lot of people is not aware of this. So it's important that your website or your content is topical consistency. Yeah. Okay. I wanted to do a quick exercise here as well. So if you look at this sentence, marketing is important for business because there are many strategies. What do you think of this sentence? Do you know what is the main topic? Do you know who is it targeting? Do you know if it's useful? It's probably not because it's quite vague. It's about marketing, but there's so many different type of marketing, right? We have digital marketing, we have content marketing, we have viral marketing. So which one is important? Um, so how about this? We revise it to how can small business use SEO to get more leads? Do you see what is the difference? It have a clear target audience here, who we want to target to reach our content. What is the specific marketing type, that SEO, and then what can they achieve after they reach the content, get more leads. So it's really clear topic, it's clear audience, it's clear intent, and that is something that will encourage people to actually click to read the content. Okay. I usually like to divide and define my type of content that I want to write based on where the audience journey is at. If they don't aware of my brand, the content topic, the content type will be different. If they're already aware of us, it will be different. And if our goal is to convert that audience, it will be different as well. So let's start with the code phase um, to understand how your content can reach the right audience. Yeah. So if we want to know how our content reach the right audience, we obviously need to know who's the target audience is. We need to know is exactly who are they. Are they a business owner? What is the size of the business? What is the industries of the business? That way, we will understand their context, their pain point, what has happening with them, what is the motivation, what is the goal that they want, so that we can customize our content to be relevant to their need. And then we need to understand their search intent. As I mentioned before, what if you already know who are they, you will be likely to know what will be their intent when they're searching for something on Google or on search engine. And if you know, and if you already know these two information, um, then is your content relevant and ready to them, so that they can click and discover your content. And the type of content that works best at this stage is definition. So you give the definition of something, you compare between this and that, the benefits and the advantages and the disadvantages of a specific topic, or step-by-step explanation. Those type of content will be more likely to be discovered by new audience. Yeah. You might wonder how can you know that if what is their search intent, right? That's and that is where we can use tools to help with those situations. One of the tool that I usually use is Answer the Public. I can quickly show you here. If you search for Answer the Public, um, you can enter any topic, brand, and product here, and then it will give you the result of what are the things that people actually searching for with those topic. Again, let's say marketing internship, and if you click search, it will give you a summary of top idea, the AI prompt that people actually put in for the topic of marketing internship. This might take a while to load here. Here you go. Okay, so it's actually divided for you by AI prompt. What do people search on AI about marketing internship? And these are the topic. Best platform to find marketing internship, leading digital marketing agency offering marketing internship, etc. And it gives you the result of what do people search on Google and organic searches like Bing for marketing internship. And these are the main keywords that people are searching for. And how you can use this. So if people searching for these questions on AI, it means that those are the things that people would like to know. and you will customize your content title to align with this prompt, so that when people search for this exact prompt, your content will be likely to be pop up on the search engine or on the AI result. For organic search, you can see that there will be more like shorter keywords, and these are the things that you will embed into the body of your content. So in your blog, for example, you try to squeeze in, the keyword of what the marketing internship meaning, so that this will be more likely to um, ranked by Google and pop up on your audience search engine. It's also give you what do people search for about marketing internship on different platforms as well. So if you know that where you want to place or publish your content, um, you know that what people are actually looking for on those platforms. Yeah. There's another tools as well, which is called Keyword Magic Tool on by SEMrush. So this slide will be attached in this summary email, so you can click to the link and explore the tool. Okay, so that is how you can help and support your content to be showing up to people search engine and social media platform and AI tools through copywriting, through the copy of the pages and the copy of your content. How about other stuff? Um, so if we moving on to the next slide, these are the things that I usually do for my clients. So if you're publishing a blog, it always come up with a blog cover image, right? Or if you're posting a post, it's always come with a caption and then a image. So usually if you design a graphic on Canva and then if you save it, it will in the title, what would it say? What I would do is in the title of that image, I always put the name of the company, the business name, and then the name of the client of that company. Because if you are doing like personal brand, and so the person name should be there, and then the title of the blog, yeah, in the graph title, and it will help when people searching for like the company name or the client name or the topic of the blog, um, it will be more likely to coming up on search engine. Now LinkedIn is the only platform, social media platform for now, that actually be tracked and ranked by Google. If you can't post any blog on Instagram or Facebook, but you can post a blog on LinkedIn, and that blog can be crawled by Google. So it's really important that you actually paying attention and being intentional with your copywriting, plus these small thing like um, title of the graphic. um, these are the small thing, but it's actually a part of the process. It helps your content to be more visible, discoverable. I'll give you the example. If now I'm searching for Dr. Dan Bate, who is one of my clients, if I go to images to look for more information of him, for example, apart from these images of him, do you know why it's pop up in the images part? Because the name of the image is actually Dr. Dan Bate. If it's IMG or like some like if the name of the image is something else, it wouldn't pop up here. Um, and then if you scroll down even more, you will see this blog title, which is published on his website. And if you click into it, there will be a blog about that specific topic, and that how you can get people to discover you, right? Um, if you go back, there are a few more. It could be this graphic, for example. It's not a blog cover, but it's a um, infographic that I embedded inside the blog copy. But because it's named after his name, when we search for his name on Google, it's more likely to pop up because it's relevant, and Google crawl it, and Google will promote it and recommend it to you. Yeah. So it's all these things will really help with SEO and AIO as well. Okay, so that is the first bit, how your content can be discovered. Yeah. Now, when they already discover your content, right? It means that you already reached that target audience. The next step is how can you keep them on that page, spend more time on that page, engage with your content. How can you keep them keep reading your content? Is another thing. And there's many ways that you can do, but a few things like foundational thing that I always do um, is that we have to have a really relevant title, and in SEO language it's called H1. So the title of your blog, or the title of your page. And then next is the headings. You have to have a logical H2S, H2. So the headings have to be relevant to them. It's not random. It needs to be relevant. And in order for these heading to be relevant, you need to have a really good content structure of that page. And something that I usually do is the pitch framework. If you have done like the training in the last few weeks, we did have a training on this pitch framework before. About who is your target audience, what is their problem, what is the solution that you can help, that you think that help them, and then what is the solution that I can provide to them. That is the structure I usually use for my blog. So if you're stuck on writing a blog, you don't know what to write about, I would highly recommend you to look at the pitch framework again and use it as an example and then as a guide to structure your blog. Yeah. Next thing is the natural keyword placement. Um, so this part is will help with SEO, and it's help people engage with it as well, because um, if they read the first part of your blog or your content and it's the keyword, the language, the phrases that you use is not relevant to them, they're not going to continue reading it. So placing the relevant keywords into your blog and your content is really important to keep them engaged with your content. And then another thing is appealing visuals. So imagine if you're reading like a blog and it's like 2,000 words and there's no visual, there's no divider, there's nothing, it's just words. Would you continue to read it? Um, it might be not engaging enough for people. But if you're adding some images to add in context into that specific paragraph, it will help them to relate to that context more, and just keep them engaged and keep scrolling to keep reading your page and your content. And then another thing is page speed. So if they click onto your blog, if they click onto your page and it keep loading, it doesn't show up any words, it doesn't show up any visuals, then it's most likely they will exit the page straight away. They wouldn't wait for it to load. And the most the most common reason why the page is keep loading and it's not fast is because you have too much media on that page. If on one page and you have like 5 different videos on it, it will negatively impact the speed of the page. So just be very intentional and selective in how you select the media for your page as well, so that it can have a good page speed. Yeah. So now if you look at this blog, what do you think of this blog? Like all of the words there. There's only title and then you have to read all of this. How do you feel? It would be a bit boring, or it would be a bit less structured, because you don't know what you should expect to read. Because there's basically you can't tell the structure of this blog. However, if you read this blog, it's the exact same copywriting. The only difference is that we're adding a bit more headings, we're adding a bit more visuals. So it's give you a context to the blog content. You will know that it will be talking about the connection between the business owners and then the two interns that have been working on that account. You will know the structure of the blog, as in like the challenge they're facing, how do they fight the person to work with, and then how does that connection can have an impact on their life or their career. So it's really clear, right? So that would be something that we absolutely need to do in if we're gonna write blog, because it will make it more structured and more engaged and more digestible as well, which is really important. If it's really too hard to digest, people are gonna skip it. Yeah. Okay, now the hot phase. So if in the cold phase they already discover your content and they in the warm phase they already engage with your content, then what is the next step? How can your content guide action? So after you write any blog, you always have the goal, right? You always have the objective of what this content's gonna be doing. Why do I write this blog, right? So it's always important to have a call to action. Um, because because after they reach your blog, they might not ready to act, or they don't know what is the next step they should do. So your content and yourself should be guiding that action. Yeah. And that is where most of the conversions gonna comes in. um, and is where you can guide them through internal links. So after they read your blog, you can add another like call to action of submitting the form, subscribing newsletter if you find that blog relevant to them, so that they can have more updates from you, or you guiding them to your contact us page, the form submission, so that they can contact you if they want to have a conversation, one-on-one conversation with you, etc. And then another thing is the validation, external links that I mentioned before. So it could be, other credible source and references that you use for your blog. Okay, now final thought. So after you have watched this week material, before publishing any content next time, um, just ask yourself: is your content really clear about what it's about? If people just read the title, would they be interested enough to click through to read your blog? And it's really matter on the hook. And the hook is something that people would be, looking for. And that is where you can search on the answer the public, so that you know the prompt that people usually type in, and that is something that they're really interested in, right? So that you can adapt it for your title. Does it answer the real questions? So if they read your title, if they read the caption of your blog, would it be clear that they would have a clear solution for their questions? Yeah. And then the third point is, would AI summarize this correctly? For AI to summarize this correctly, the quality of your content must be good. It should be credible. It should be insightful, so that people can actually AI can actually understand what is it about. It can trust you, and it can match it with the prompt that people actually search for. And then lastly, does it guide the reader to the next step? As in, does it have any call to action, or does it just stop there? Yeah. So after you write any content, at the end, if you are able to answer these questions and all of the answer is yes, then the content is likely to do its job. Yeah, it's not 100% sure that it will work, but that is the thing with content marketing and brand building. It takes time, but over time, when you continue to do this type of content, these blogs, your website can starting to be like a resource, starting to be a portfolio. And this is how your personal brand or the business brand can be established and strengthened over time. Okay, now next step, the most important part. So similar to last time, I would like you to prepare a set of interview questions for another one piece of your content from your content plan. Yeah. Ideally in a blog format, because then you can practice to write the long form content with the structure that I suggested. You can obviously use other structure as well. That's fine. But if you do, I just need you to clarify why you think it's gonna work. Yeah. And then again, same process. Have your body to review to interview you, to draw out your insights, to write that blog, and then create one blog post based on that interview. And with this blog post, I would like to have three elements. I want it to have a clear title, around 1,000 words of the blog copy. And for every blog, it should come with a accompanying caption. So when you're actually publishing it on LinkedIn, you will put the blog copy there, you put the thumbnail, which is the article cover image, and before you hit publish, it will have the little caption. Yeah. So I want you to do that as well. Um, and then with the graphic, you're more than welcome to start with the graphic part using the Canva tool that we provide to you. However, next week we'll have a Canva training workshop. So I'm happy for you to wait until then as well to design your first blog thumbnail. Yeah. Okay, that is everything I want to touch base in this week, because it's all about making those ideas that you have in the content plan work in the real world. And I really want you to practice this for yourself and also for your future jobs and also for your for when you start working with client, you feel supported, you feel confident to deliver the work. Yeah. So yeah, it's time for you to execute and let's see how you apply this. I'll see you next week. Thank you guys.